Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated Swordsoul list that you guys in the community actually voted for to see next. So, I really think that this deck has a really good play rate in the current format. Now that Run and Tonen's banned, and now that Snow is gone, you can get away more easily with your synchro summoning and being able to not have to worry about a Toad too much, not being have to worry about your tuners, not your tuners, but your Swordsoul cards being flip face down. I feel like Swordsoul does have a really good chance in this format, and the deck is still really consistent. It still has everything that you need to play it. Yeah, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this list, and without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so starting off with the main deck, we do play 3 copies of Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous. I still like playing 3 of this card. I like knowing that there's at least a copy or 2 in the deck, especially since you're playing Desires, since Desires is now at 2, not at 1, like how it was when the deck was at full power. I feel like you have to be playing 3 of this, mainly because it does look nice as that new Prismatic Secret Rare, if I may be honest, but also because this is also what's going to help you for going second. Going first, it does kind of suck, but worst comes to worst, games 2 and game 3, when you know that you're going first, you can always side a copy out. But since you are playing Desires, you want to make sure that you have at least a copy or 2 in the deck, so definitely play 3. Next, we are still playing 3 copies of Moye, of course, because this is your best normal summon in the deck. 3 copies of Longwan, probably the best extender in the deck. This card's really busted, being able to burn for 12, a really unnecessary effect, but it also makes you get into Baron, makes you go into your Synchro Longwan, which is just amazing. Really great card. 2 copies of Taya. Don't need 3. I've been opting to try playing 1 of this, but so far 2 has been really good. I'm not playing Summit, which is a big thing that I've seen a lot of people play now, but I just never really liked Summit, which I'm also just not playing Dragite in the extra deck later, but I'll get into that when we get into it. I found just playing 2 Taya was fine. I never really miss having a third or anything with Desires. I never wanted to miss out on a copy. I never side 1 out. I think 2 is a really good ratio. Maybe in the future I'll try 1, but 2 has been fine for the most part. For Tenyis, there's a lot of them. So we are playing 3 copies of Ashuna, 3 copies of Vishuddha, 2 copies of Adhara, and then 1 of the Shatana. So depending on playstyle, it really depends on your Tenyi lineup. I've never really been a big fan of Shatana, but with the field spell for tier elements being really prevalent in the format, being able for them to just pop your tuners, having this as access, being able to just benefit you when that does happen is really good. I also play Heavenly Dragon Circle now, but I'll get into that when we get into it. I do like playing the Shatana now because it just does come up a lot more than it used to in the past. Only 2 Adhara because I feel like you can just use this better if you know how to use it, but the other 2 are very necessary to play at 3 because they are just the ones that do the most bang for your buck. But I really do like this lineup. I was debating on playing a 3rd Adhara, but so far in testing, I tried to keep the deck as close to 40. I'm at 41 right now, but if you want to play a 3rd Adhara, you could easily play 42, just up to preference. And then we play some hand traps, because of course we do. 3 copies of DD Crow. I still feel like this card's going to be really important in the upcoming format. We're also playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. You still have to play Ash. This just helps in every rogue matchup. This helps you just against decks that you don't know how to play against. Really good against Sprite that still try to play it. You definitely still have to play Ash. It's just the most generic hand trap to play. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, and then the last defensive card I play is 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. So one of the reasons I do like playing Swordsoul right now is because you can access Droplet because it makes your Tenyis live. It's really good for going second. It's also just very good defensively for when you go first. You can just set this with your full board, whatever you need. But I like Droplet just in case you do go second. Being able to break it to your element board is really nice. You don't have to play Dark Ruler because Dark Ruler doesn't benefit you in this deck. You could if you want, but if you can't afford it, play Droplet, please. It's so much better. The other hand traps I feel is very necessary. Imperm just helps you play around talents if people are still going to be playing talents. But the main reason I wanted to play Swordsoul was because Forbidden Droplets is such a great, powerful card, and being able to just benefit it off it with your Tenyis and your other war monsters are just really beneficial for your playstate, and I just really like this deck. So that's it for those. For the rest of the spells, We play 3 copies of Emergence, of course. This is your Searcher. So for some reason, this card's still at 3. This card's insane. It's a really busted card, being able to search any Swordsoul name. The level reduce effect doesn't really come up. It never has in the past, but it's always there in case you need it. Next, we're on 2 copies of Pot of Desire still. I wish it was at 3. If it was at 3, I'd be playing 3 of it, but since it's at 2, we are just opting to play the 2. Double copies of Heavenly Dragon Circle. Now, you could play 3 of this. I can understand why you would want to play 3 of this. I've ended up bricking with 3, so I've just opted to play 2, and so far 2 has been fine. Being able to trigger this off of your blackout is really good as well. But I mainly use this as an out to Mystic Mine. When they slap down a Mystic Mine, you basically just chain the circle, and then it makes it to where your board is empty, and then the mine will die in the end phase. So it's really good to have, but it's just an option. You could play Vessel if you want to, but I just opt to play Circle, and I'm also playing the Water Tenyi because it helps for the same reasoning. So 2 of those. And then the last spell we play in the deck is a Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is just really good. It just acts as like another trap card. It acts as like another hand trap. Being able to hit any of the tier element cards is really good. Being able to hit anything else that may be problematic, any hand traps that might interrupt your play. Very strong card, and definitely feel you still need to play it. And then the last card we play is the Swordsoul Blackout. 41 cards in the main deck. You have to play the Blackout. There's no way that you don't. I saw a couple lists that weren't playing it, and I just was very shocked why. But you have to play Blackout regardless of the situation. But 41 cards in the main deck, nice and solid. Moving on to the extra deck. We are looking at double copies of Yugioh. Now granted, if you're playing 3, you're probably losing, so I think 2 is just fine. Next we play the 1 Yazi and double Baxia. Now granted, you could play 1 Baxia because I feel like you're in a format to where you could get away with playing 1, but I like having 2 just for the versatility of it, just in case you need to use both, you can. But I play 2 still because I just feel like it's the most safe route to play. So that's it for the Yang Zings. 1 Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. Now granted, you don't have to play this, so this could be Dragite, but when you're locked into worms off of a Shuna, you need another generic level 8 to summon, so I just opted for the Draco Berserker because it's just that good. The only level 9 that I play is the Chaofeng. This basically the only beneficial level 9 that you can play. It's really easy to access with your Baxia and your, what's it called, the Adhara. But Chaofeng basically makes it to where your opponent can't nib you, they can't effect veiler you. It's a really beneficial card, and it definitely helps your game state. And it's really good against Drytron. So with Ben 10 at 3, you're probably going to be seeing at least a few Drytron players. I know I will. So I definitely opt to play the Chaofeng for that reasoning. And then we play a few level 10s. We play the 1 Baron de Flor. This card is still broken. I'm surprised it didn't get hit on the ban list, to be honest. This card is really good for what it does. So we do still play it since it's still here. And then we play the Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Changing. This card's busted, being able to gain attack, and then the graveyard effect is just insane as well. 1 Long One, this card's actually just busted. When you do get locked into worms and you can't make the Baron, you're basically making this because it just nets you so much resource, especially when you're going into time. Not saying you should go into time. I never condone going into time to win games, but if your opponent basically does anything, if they special summon, if they activate a spell or trap, you can banish it, and then they take 1200 for that. Very good, but it is what it is. And then the last synchro I play is a Psychic End Punisher, not a level 10, but a level 11. You can use this with your Incredible Ecclesia, and you can also use it with any of the level 7 Tenyis. So basically you can use Hara, you can use Vishuddha and the Ecclesia, and you just make this bad boy, and you basically just win the game when you summon this. But that's it for the synchro monsters. And then rounding off the extra deck, we are playing 3 copies of Monk of the Tenyi. I definitely feel like you need to play 3 of this just because it does come up. And then I'm opting to play the Shaman. This might change. I might change this out for the Dragite. I might change it out for a Crimson Blader. I'm not too sure, but so far when I've played Shaman in the past, it's ended up coming out because it hasn't been that good for me. Basically, every time I've summoned it, I've pretty much lost the game because of it. But I don't know. We're going to give it a try for the format, and if it changes, then I'll update it. But for the most part, I feel like the Shaman's fine for right now, just at least until we get our feet in the water what the format's going to be, other than just tier element heavy. But yeah, guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for the deck profile. I'm not going to show a side deck just because I haven't played with any of these decks at locals. I've just been kind of testing the format online. Haven't done anything in person just yet because the ban list still isn't live by the time this video goes up. At least I don't think it is. So let's hope that it's not, but I really love Swordsoul. I've had a lot of great success with it in the past, and it's just a really fun deck to play. It's actually like kind of budget friendly as well, as long as you have all the other like staples, but the core itself is actually not too bad to pick up. I really do like this deck, and it performs solid, so I can't really say too much there. But yeah, guys, that has been the deck profile. And until next time, this has been Papa, and I will catch you all in my next video. Take care, everyone.